So let's talk about scoring procedures. Again, this is for everybody that's going to be at the competition. So we have an online scoring system that is accessible through iPhone, Android, tablet, computer, you name it. If you can get to the internet, you can use this. So this is a bring your own device. And like I say, it could be a smartphone. It is completely online, so you're going to be entering scores directly into this system, and it will identify ties, and then if there are tiers, and these are defined within the rules, so you're not making up tiers for events. It's if it's defined within the rules, and these are usually for engineering events, then you would be able to set the tier in which they fall. So that the tiering is explained within the scoring in the event rules. So here's a close-up example. You'll enter in raw scores. Now, in these cases, you're able to enter in no-shows as NS. If they showed up, they had a device, but they couldn't test it, you're able to enter a P so that they get a participation point only. So at the state tournament, this is basically last place. And it will generate then the place over here. Now you notice there's a 20, there's a 20, there's a 21. There's several 20s on this. We only rank and give points up to 20th place. And then beyond that, you will see that number repeat. No shows are last place plus 1. And then a disqualification, which is very rare, would be last place plus 2. And so you also see how the tier works to put them in a basically behind everybody that's in tier 1. One note of caution: if you start putting in the scores throughout the day and you leave the computer, you will get logged out without knowing that you're logged out. So each hour I would log out and log back in to make sure you're actually in contact with the server and uploading these scores. When you enter the score, it will turn yellow briefly, and then after it goes back to this white and gray color, then that means that they've uploaded. So there's nothing to push to enter after you've entered the scores. It just communicates with the server automatically. Only at the end of the day do you hit submit and confirm to send the scores, and then do not walk away. At that point, you come to score counseling. So you're going to enter in the raw scores. So these are whatever number of points you calculate, so that we break ties up to 20th place, so the first 19 places. And then you'll also organize the student work sheets, whether it's the lab, the test, the papers, whatever you've got, in rank order with first place on top. Make sure, again, you know how the rules, how to score based on the rules. And then if you're doing an engineering event, you're still going to use Excel spreadsheets to calculate raw scores. So this is similar to one that we've had in the past. So the Excel spreadsheet with the team names in, you'll answer the questions, enter in data, and it will generate a raw score. So out of Excel, you will copy, and you're going to get this one at a time. There's no way to upload this. You'll enter in these raw scores that come out of the Excel spreadsheet into the scoring system. This spreadsheet gets sent to me. This will, of course, be available for our score counselors to double check that you've moved these scores over into the scoring system correctly. So the teams that rank in the top 20 will receive 1 to 20 points. Teams that rank from 21 to 42 will continue to receive 20 points. So we're not going to give anybody any more points out after 20th place. Any teams that can't be scored receive a P. So a P is awarded in cases in which, let's say they build a device and it can't be tested, but they've shown up, they've done their best, so we can give them a P. It might also be defined within the rules. Teams that are no-show, you just enter in no-show, NS, and that is last place plus 1, so they'll get 21 points. They're DQ'd, very rare. You should probably never ever have this happen. And if you do, you're only entering this in because I said you enter it in. So we want to know about it. They get 22 points. So the lowest combined score of all the events will determine the winner for the middle and high school. And two of the events, as I mentioned earlier, are low score wins. So when you're finished at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you've entered everything into the scoring system and submitted, so it locks in the scores. Where you're going to fill out the scoring checklist. I'll show you that in a second. You're going to place all the student work in rank order with first place on the top. Step 4, we're not doing. And then 5, you'll read out the raw score, the team number, and the rank from the student work. And this is just to ensure that everything got entered in correctly into the scoring system. So don't head home at the end of the day. You come through score counseling. This is the check sheet that you're going to follow. So this is just, to make sure that we've got the procedures in place. It's time tested to make sure that we're going to catch as many errors as we possibly can. So this gets filled out. You'll bring this with you to the scoring room. And then scoring room is in Creole, and it will also check to make sure that all the arbitrations have been taken care of before you go through score counseling. So lunch, we'll have lunch for you available at 11:30 in the Creole lobby, and there's no separate lunch hour, so just have 1 or 2 people from your event head over and grab lunch for everybody, and you can bring it back. And then some of the last minute things. In the morning, so we're going to have everything ready to go starting at about 6:45, 6:50. And that's going to be where you'll pick up your materials in Creole 102. Anything that's been requested for pickup will be there. And then there will be event supervisor packets. So the event supervisors will pick up envelopes. We'll have a meeting for 8:10 a.m. in the Creole 102, 103. And this is for a supervisor or an assistant. And the whole team doesn't need to be there, particularly if you're setting up and if you've got impound that's going on at 8 o'clock. So not everybody from your event can be there. So just send one representative to 8:10, and then get out to the rooms to finalize. I say that the impound begins at 9. It really begins at 8 because we don't have 1 hour is not enough. So we're going to start that impound at 8 o'clock with one event, disease detectives, also starting at 8 o'clock. So that means that only one person from disease should be there at 8 o'clock. And we'll be able to get into the rooms starting at 7 a.m. I've asked security to open up all the rooms by 7 a.m. The first event, disease detective, starts at 8, and then we'll have lunch in the lobby and have a fun day. The first hour is the crazy hour, so just sort of work through problems as you can, and then it really smooths out throughout the day. So I do encourage you to head to the Florida Science Olympiad website, particularly the clarifications page. Follow on Twitter. We're going to have any announcements that are necessary to be made through the Twitter account. And there's also clarifications that you'll see on the soinc.org page. And I'll try to draw your attention via email on that as well. If you do have any questions, you can shoot me an email. So once again, thank you so much for helping out at the competition. It is impossible to do this alone. All told, I need about 250 volunteers to run this successfully. And so I really appreciate you giving up your time to support Science Olympiad and support STEM education. I will see you at the tournament. Thanks.